You know, this is actually a strange fight. One we've been looking forward to. The perfect one to end the year. And big shout out to Stefanos Livonos and Sadie on this particular request. Hope we pronounced that correctly. We're sure you'll forgive us if not. But to get to this fight, we wanna ask y'all something. If you've got two assassins in this fight, both human lethal weapons, tell us something. Which of these weapons is Rigondeaux? And which is Lomachenko? You've got two of the greatest amateurs in history. And Rigondeaux's been the underdog to the majority we've seen in the media. Why? Because Lomachenko's the bigger man. An athletic. A fucking Tommy gun in the ring. A combination punch and jumping bean. There's certain guys we always watch fight. They're simply on that level where we gotta. Loma's one of those fighters. But we gotta say, we haven't seen many breakdowns of these fighters and their styles. Then again, there's plenty videos we haven't seen, so who knows. But from the videos we've seen, the logic's simply been that Loma's bigger and athletic. Kinda like the saying, a great big man beats a great little man. But this fight is a jungle fight. And in the jungle, it's not the size of the creature, but how deadly it is. You're pretty big, right? We'd say most of y'all watching this are more than 100 pounds. What if we threw you in a room with a 5-pound wasp? We'd pretty sure you'd opt to not be in that room. Even though you weigh 95 pounds or more than that creature. Size is about what one brings to the table. If it's two motherfuckers doing the same shit in the ring, then bank on the bigger man. However, these guys don't do the same shit in the ring. You've got two assassins that don't kill in the same way. Whose offense is deadlier? Whose defense is more vulnerable to whose offensive characteristics? Here's what you need to consider. Oh yeah. You should also know. There's far more types of punches than most know. It's not about the basic terms in boxing. Body shots, uppercuts, jabs, counters, pull counters, power punches and hooks. We actually have an off-the-record list of punches. They're just personal types of punches we gave our own customized names to. For any of those punches named, you can create more than 100 types of those punches. Let's take a look at Rigondeaux. What do you see? What you notice about that punch? We can tell you this. Rigondeaux extends, leans and slants his entire body and weight into those shots. Any y'all play pool? We ask because it corresponds a lot to punching. Like when you break and get a nice crack. Especially the kind that echoes through a pool hall or a room. Rigondeaux doesn't just throw punches. He shoots them. And he shoots fucking jaw-breaking shots. He's not a volume motherfucker. Even though he's more than capable. But he's a make it count motherfucker. When the volume comes, you're hurt already. He prefers having you in his web before going that direction. Other than speed, these two guys are like polar extremes. Rigondeaux prefers to get you hurt before using his volume. Lomachenko prefers using his volume to get you hurt. Loma likes to overwhelm with combinations and speed while squaring up. Rigondeaux prefers an extreme slant twist stance. Loma will plant both those feet side by side and wail away. He's not a rock'em sock'em robot in the least, but'll plant those feet like one in a minute. And he destroys motherfuckers with it. He does it with fighters that stand right in front of him with both feet squared side by side. His advantage is speed and pure athleticism. However, Rigondeaux don't stand straight squared up in front of a motherfucker. And between the speed and being southpaws, they'll also be the extreme of what either has faced professionally. As a matter of fact, Rigondeaux's rare as fuck. He keeps distance and he's a little man that pulls off fighting tall and long. Lomachenko's like a mongoose. Make no mistake about it. And Rigondeaux has black mamba in his blood. The black mamba has no chance versus a mongoose. However, Rigondeaux's not just a black mamba. He's like the son of a black mamba and mongoose that was abducted by aliens and crossbred. Both are skilled defensively. Yet we give the defensive edge to Rigondeaux. However, Lomachenko's just as exotic in the ring. A lot of fighters square up. And they're very vulnerable to Rigondeaux. But Loma's different. He's a jumpin' bean. He'll square up, yet be on your left, on your right, and maybe even directly behind you in a blink of an eye. So let's talk 12 rounds of advantages. These ain't our actual 12-round advantages, which we keep on the down low. But we're just gonna play. H. Obviously Loma. Defense. We're giving that to Rigo. Speed. Even round. Power. Rigo. Size. Loma. Athleticism. Both's good and could be even. But since Loma likes doing handstands and backflips, we'll give him the edge. Though it's possible Rigo can do those as well and we haven't seen it. Nevertheless, backflips don't help in a ring. Combination punching. Loma. Uppercuts. Loma. Body shots. Rigo. Jab. Rigo. Timing. Rigo. Ring generalship. Even round. That's a even fight so far. Both fighters will be facing something they've never faced before in one another. One assassin will be looking to overwhelm. The other will be seeking target practice. Rigo's a sniper. Loma prefers that Rambo type shit. But we're gonna tell ya. Rigo's being seriously underestimated in this fight. See, there's some things to consider. For example, Loma's size just may be an advantage rather than disadvantage. For a sniper, bigger's just more to hit. Nor does a sharpshooter care how much and fast the goose flops around. Next thing being underestimated. Rigo's power. He puts force behind those shots. But since he doesn't turn his entire body with them, people don't notice. But those are cracking shots. Don't let the subtleness of it fool ya. It's very much like the 1-inch punch. He also fights at a distance. And has the reach advantage in this fight. Loma loves beating a shit out of those motherfuckers who square up in front of him. Rigo rarely does that. He's in danger when he does. And he knows it. That's how Donaire knocked him on his ass. If he does that in front of Loma, he's gonna have a long night. Or a short one. Either way. It ain't good. Nor will he. So Loma's not gonna be facing a squared up punching bag. He'll be facing a defensive power counter puncher. With a quick defensive bounce back. Next. He's one hell of a timer. That quick bouncing around Loma does. Rigo's only concern will be popping him when he bounces in front of his face. So Loma's gotta make sure his advantages don't become his disadvantages and he doesn't jump right into something. He's dealing with a hell of a defensive fighter. A great defensive fighter's always simultaneously in offensive position. That's some dangerous shit because resetting's not a task, not to mention they exert far less energy in a fight. Lomachenko's a fuel guzzler. Now this is the point where some of y'all will feel we should seem more unbiased and talk about how Loma's being underestimated too. No need. Because he ain't. He's the favorite. So as for Loma, he's gotta be patient in this fight. The irony's he's taken the bigger risk by trying to take the smaller one. Because only one man can lose this fight. Especially with there being no compromise. And he's never faced the kinda speed and skill Rigo brings. That's if he can bring it with him in this unfair no compromise fight. And no, y'all, Gary Russell don't count for no great win. Decent but not great. Russell had speed but he was no technician. He's a guy who'd get squared and use his speed and was a one-trick pony. Kinda sad story because with the right trainer Russell coulda been a beast. But fighters like Russell and Walters ain't technicians. They just square up with no slant to their stance and stand right in front of you like human punching bags. That's what you gonna be for a fighter like Loma if you do that crap. You gotta be what he hasn't trained for. Not what he has. He's finally facing a whole nother kind of fighter. Unfortunately it's a smaller fighter. So if Loma wins it'll only be semi-respected and bittersweet. It's a catch-22. He's the bigger man. Fighting the older smaller man. That alone sounds bad. People will say yeah, Loma's good. But they'll just say Loma's good but he was younger and bigger fighting an older fighter from a smaller weight class that he made move up a couple of weight classes. He might even get called a bully. However, if Rigo wins, and we mean convincingly, he beat the fucking odds. He's gonna be called the master. The professor. He'll be placed in a league of his own. While Loma holds his head down in depression. Because Loma's called pound for pound by many the most skilled fighter in the world. The Matrix. Rigo takes all that shit if he wins. He'll be Neo and Morpheus in one. Look. We know some of y'all ain't gonna like this. It's not personal. We're just telling ya the truth about this fight. And when you complain about Salido's size advantage, people gonna remember. So only one man'll get credit for climbing Mount Everest if he wins. And since he's probably gotten knock him out to win, he'll deserve it. And because of it, the irony's Lomachenko's gotta win. That's who all the pressure's on. Not Rigondeaux. Personally, we'll respect both fighters win or lose no matter who it is. Because Loma delivers a damn hella fight when he fights. His stamina's damn good. He's not a guy who wears down in the later rounds. To achieve that, Rigondeaux's gonna have to frustrate him. Lomachenko should win this fight. But personally, we'll be putting money on Rigondeaux. Actually, we already did. And no y'all, we're not telling anyone a bet on Rigondeaux. We're saying what we did. Why? Because Rigondeaux ain't the favorite. And with the odds and Rigondeaux's skill, it's worth the bet for us.